Thank you. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak to you about fatherhood. I want you to become a great father. Not a perfect father, but a great father. And I want you to challenge yourself to become a better father. Wouldn't it be nice if we could all have a loving father who cared about us? A father who leads by example, provides guiding advice. He helps us develop into our maximum human potential. Well, I am Kevin Hinds, and I am the product of a good father. Now, beyond that, I also have children of my own, so I am a father. And I know what it's like to be in the trenches as a dad. I've been there with the dirty diapers. I've experienced the vomit. I've experienced the embarrassing things they've said in public. I know what that's like. I know what the struggles of marriage are like. I know the conflict of being at work versus being at a little league game. I've made choices on both sides of that fence. And I've had to live with the consequences of those choices. And I've had to learn from those choices. But beyond my experience as a father, I've also spent my entire adult life working in the field of law enforcement, in jails, and in youth behavior schools. As I met people, old and young, of all socioeconomic classes, races, and genders, and different communities across the state of Michigan, I noticed one thing that most of these people have had in common. No father. I hope this video clip from Grip Outreach for Youth helps to put some of the staggering statistics into perspective for you. Take a look.
Children who grow up in fatherless homes are 5 times as likely to be poor.
Fatherless boys and girls are 2 times as likely to drop out of high school, 2 times as likely to end up in jail, and 4 times as likely to have emotional and behavioral problems.
71% of pregnant teenagers grow up without a father.
71% of all high school dropouts come from fatherless homes.
70% of juveniles in state reform institutions grew up in single-parent homes or without parents.
Now, if those numbers weren't enough to convince you that fatherlessness is a cancerous epidemic in this country, let me hammer a few more statistics home. The U.S. Census Bureau reports that 39% of children live in fatherless households. An article from Community's Digital News reports that fatherless children are 20 times more likely to end up in prison. A report from FamilyFacts.org tells us that children with involved fathers, however, experience much more happiness and reduced psychological anxiety. All of the research is very clear. It is very compelling. A fatherless child has a dad-shaped hole right through their soul. If you don't fill it, they're going to fill it with drugs, with sex, with gangs, and with plenty of bad advice. None of these things lead to a productive life. Sadly, it often ends with repeating the cycle of this meaningless life of guilt and regret. Because children would rather get in trouble than get ignored, many will result to delinquent and criminal behavior. This is because if the adults who are in their lives won't be present in their lives, they'll try to force the adults to be present in their lives by committing these types of acts and this type of behavior. Now, I've shown you the devastating statistics of what fatherless children can expect out of life. As this cycle repeats itself and grows, our families suffer, our communities suffer, our nation is suffering. This epidemic has the potential to destroy our country. Now, I want to show you what a great future we can have if we are involved in our children's lives and how we can turn that around. Imagine a world, if you will, where we have to close prisons because we have more room than we need. Imagine a world where abortion rates are reduced because kids are choosing abstinence as opposed to meaningless sex to fill the void. Imagine a world where young women don't seek love and acceptance in the arms of the first guy who runs by and talks smooth, and where men don't measure their manliness by how many baby mamas they have and how many women they've slept with. Imagine a world where suicide rates are dropping exponentially, and a world where mass shootings become unheard of. Think of the things that could be done with all of those lives, those productive lives. Think of the things that can be done with all of those resources. President Ronald Reagan once said, "Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on to them to do the same." That same theory is true for achieving all of the dreams that I listed. All of those things are attainable in just one generation. That's all it takes is one generation. We are all at different places with our ability to father our children, but we all have one thing in common. We can be better tomorrow than we are today. We can all make one small change. One small change is all it takes to make us better fathers, and we can do that every day. If you haven't talked to your kids in 5 years, then do something now. If you've grown distant from the kids or are living under your roof, do something now. If you're a pretty good dad, you can probably do something better. So go do something now. Make a positive impact on your children. I challenge you to do just one thing that you aren't doing now. Show up at a school event that your child is participating in, or a game, or anything that your kid is doing. Just show them you care to see what they're up to. Read a book, listen to a video about parenting. Good parenting is a journey. It's not a destination. We never actually get there. It's an art form that is unique to your situation and your unique children. Attend their teacher conferences. Show them you care about what they're doing in school. Make it a point to volunteer in their classroom or chaperone a field trip. You don't have to do all of them. Just do one. Have your child teach you how to do their homework. That'll make them proud of what they've learned. Spend some time putting them to bed at night. Tell them you love them. Show them that you want to be with them. Play a board game with them. I guarantee you conversation will happen. Put your phone away and turn off the TV when your kids are in the same room with you. Show them that you want to be present and that you want to give your attention to them. Cook a meal together. Eat a meal together. Show them that spending time together is important. Take a child with you when you're running errands. It's as simple as that. Teach them how to be independent. Show them what it's like. It's good to spend time together. If you really want to change the world, start by changing yourself. The ripples of being an involved father will continue long after we are gone. As fathers, we collectively wield the power to change the world. Thank you very much.